because you want the amount of pure... Gemma! Stephanie! Come home! Come here! Get over here! Gemma! The dogs are going nuts! Get over here! Get over here! Gemma! Hey, Stephanie! Come home! Come here! Get over here!
Walnut!
Both of these nuts? Get over here! Get over here! I remember during all of COVID, they had signs up saying they didn't want you there if you had any of these following symptoms. And I remember thinking to myself, since when can you only go to a doctor if you're healthy? This is insane. What up? It's Garage Gym Homie, baby. And today, man, I just celebrated 4 years of not watching porn or jerking off, man. Is it worth it? Before we get into this here, please click the subscribe button. I got content coming out all the dang time for you. So click subscribe and let's get into this, man. God bless all of you homies. I hope you're feeling amazing, living from the heart and staying out of your head. Talk about living from the heart, man. That's what we're here. January 3rd, man, 2025, just celebrated 4 years. Haven't watched porn, haven't jerked off. I'll never go back. It's just like drug use, man. Like, there's no temptation or anything. It's just one of those things that I'll never go back to, dude. I made a contract with God, and I've stuck to it, and my life has improved a lot since then. You know, I always tell you guys, man, every single decision we make does one or two things. I'll say it 100,000 more times. Every decision either gets us closer to God and following our heart and our true self, which is all the same, or further from God, man, and more away from our heart and more in our head, and more self, not true self. Self meaning selfishness. Too much dang self. And I follow my heart, man. I hear things when we pray, we talk to God. When we meditate, we listen. And I listened to my heart on this one, man. Toward the end of my jerk and porn career, I was in the porn industry for years. I dated one of the most famous porn stars in the industry, probably the most famous at the time. For 2 years, I lived with her, and I was in the industry myself, acting disgusting, getting women into the porn industry, getting them booked, doing all sorts of video, all that craziness. I've been there, I've done it. I've been to the mountaintop of sexual insanity with the crystal meth life and everything. So I don't tell you that to brag or to sound cool. I tell you that quite the opposite, so you know what kind of craziness I come from. I made this channel to always be transparent and keep it 100% with you. And I will do that, man. I will always do that. I open my heart up to tell you guys my deepest secrets ever, and to tell you things that aren't comfortable to talk about, man. So this content can hopefully bring value to some people's lives. And hit the dang like button, man, by the way. Anyway, so listen, man, toward the end of my porn and jerking career, I started noticing things as being a bodybuilder and a spiritual being. I'm really in touch with my body. And when I would jerk off or watch porn, the very next day, dude, I had horrible brain fog. And I was thinking, like, man, how could I be so sensitive to this? And I just decided to, like, Google it, brain fog after masturbation or whatever, And there were a whole bunch of people, man, on Reddit, whatever, who had the same experience, man, who were posting, does anyone else get brain fog? And I just know, man, that the majority of society just kind of lives that way. Like when I go to a restaurant after eating clean all week and I have a cheat meal, I'm bloated. I feel like kind of junk. Most of society just kind of lives feeling like junk, and that's their normal. My standard is so high, and I'm so dialed in with how I live from the clean living and everything. I notice these changes, man. A lot of people just jerk off mindlessly, and I couldn't do that any longer, man. There was no way for me to be a spiritual being and continue mindlessly consuming porn and thinking that that's okay between me and God. Didn't feel right. Number one, I was thinking of super unhealthy sexual fantasies that led back to my meth and porn and all those days, man. And I couldn't jerk off without thinking of super unhealthy things, man. Fantasizing about drug use, things that are, you know, I don't even need to go into, it's not even important, the details, but very, very unhealthy sexual thoughts, man. So I started praying about it. God, please give me a healthy sexual mindset. Please give me a healthy sexual mind. I prayed about it for months, man. And then I asked for God to give me the willingness and the power to do something about it. We can't just pray, dude, and not take action. I wasn't meeting God halfway. I was just praying but not taking action. I made a contract with God. I'm done with porn. I'm done with jerking off, and I'm never going back, man. I'm never freaking going back. And jerking off did something different to me than sex did. You know, I didn't get brain fog from having sex with my girlfriend at the time or whatever. You know, jerking off, it's like our lowest human inhibition. And I couldn't, then I stopped watching porn for a couple weeks, and I just kept jerking it, and I couldn't do that without fantasizing about the porn that I was stuck on and stuff. So it just went hand in hand, and then started having, so I just said, you know what? I'm done, man. I'm never, this is it was like when I decided not to swear anymore. It was a decision I made, and I have fallen short of that when I've been angry and stuff like that. I've never fallen short of jerking off. I never accidentally let a quick jerk slip or something, or turned on porn accidentally. But I have said curse words. But I'll never go back, man, to cursing as being part of my regular vocabulary or anything. It's very rare that I curse or whatever. I slip up, and I don't like the person I am when I do it. It's usually out of fear or anger or whatever. Porn, man, I can't tell you how good of a spiritual decision that was. My workouts have been better. I feel more focused. I feel more driven. I feel closer to God. All of my unhealthy sexual thoughts and fantasies have disappeared and cleared up. I feel like a more spiritual being, like I'm a better person today, a stronger man than I was previously. I had just thought that jerking off was normal, man. Science says it's healthy, this and that. Science says that healthy couples watch porn. Science is a lot of nonsense, homie, if that's what science is saying. You know, there's real science and there's fake science. And unfortunately, our society has been caught up with a lot of fake science. There's no way to spin it, man. I used to say, well, I don't want to have too big of an ego. It's, you know, my decision for me not to watch porn, but I don't judge you if you want to watch it. That's BS, homie. There's no freaking healthy way to watch porn. I don't care what you tell me, man. Porn is absolutely toxic, and it weakens you. And I just thought that's just what men do, man. They jerk off, they watch porn, that's nothing unhealthy. They do it in private, they do it with their girlfriend or their wife, and maybe it helps with healthy couples. Absolutely nonsense, man. Totally BS. It's you couldn't be any further from God, man, than watching these girls. And I know what goes behind the scenes in porn. A bunch of drugged out, sick, toxic people with a lot of trauma in their past and a lot of disgusting behavior, being paid to act. And I've been there, man. I've been on many porn sets, and I've been in the industry, and there's absolutely nothing cool about it, man. I come here today in front of you as a guy who's been reborn. The stuff that I used to think was so cool and made me such a cool dude, a man, and such a strong dude, it turned out to be some of the weakest stuff ever, man. I thought I was so hip because I ran the streets and was in the porn industry and messed with a bunch of hookers and porn stars, and my ego was so big I couldn't even fit my head through the door. And now I come to realize, man, that that's the weakest stuff ever. All I was doing was mindlessly consuming and indulging. There was nothing strong about it. It was terribly weak, man. If I look back at that person, I used to think playing girls was cool, man. That's far from God. The things that I think are cool today, it's funny, we grow up with this idea because of what the media tells us is cool. Like, it's hip to be dumb and play girls and be a class clown and, act this way and that way. To me, people who I see are cool, they're not playing women, dude. Like, if I have friends, I've had friends in sobriety and they've talked to me like I'm one of the boys and, oh man, I cheated on my wife or I did this or that, and they think it's like cool to sit and talk. I don't even want to talk to them anymore, dude. Like, that to me is the furthest thing from cool, thinking you're going to get together with the homies and brag about how you went outside your marriage, dude. Like me putting a ring on Stephanie's finger, that was a spiritual decision. That was a decision because I wanted to get closer to God. I didn't want to keep sleeping with somebody who I wasn't 110% committed to. My standards of living are so freaking high today that most normal people just can't even wrap their head around it. They think it's okay. As long as you have a girlfriend, you sleep with her, whatever, as long as you're not hurting anyone. Dude, when it comes to sex, somebody always gets hurt. When two people get together and have one-night stands and this and that, dude, you're always risking somebody's feelings getting hurt. Whether it's not yours, it's theirs. It's no longer cool, dude. My standards of living are so high because I want to get close to God, man. Getting rid of porn, man, I feel just like I have an edge that I never had. I'm not going to come on here and say, I built a bunch of muscle, but my workouts feel better. The next day, I don't have a brain fog. I feel more sharp. I feel more driven. I feel like a stronger person. I feel like I have more endurance and stamina, and I'm not tired. I'm not a slave, man, to mindlessly consuming. Practicing restriction takes us to higher spiritual levels. Porn is the epitome of mindless consumption. Your head's in the sand, dude, if you think you can just watch porn here and there and it doesn't take a toll on your soul. There's no way around it, man. You can debate me, you can do this. I'm too dialed in, man, spiritually to think you're going to win in a debate about that. There's no healthy way anymore for me to watch porn. You can trick yourself and think that it's a once in a while thing and but that stuff's bad for our soul, dude. Bad for our soul like gossip's bad for our soul, talking ugly about people. We got to really bring each other up, man, and take each other to higher spiritual levels. So now I can have sex. I don't want to put Stephanie out there, whatever I do. But I don't feel guilt, man. I put a ring on her finger because I'm like committed. I'm all in. It's guilt-free now. I could be a spiritual being and look myself in the mirror and answer to God at the end of the day. I don't watch porn. I use my YouTube platform to speak out against it. I think it's disgusting. There's nothing cool about it. And I hope, man, that I inspire some people to try and raise up to another level. Some of you might be watching this and be like, yeah, that's already where I was. You might have got up on game a long time before me and realized that porn was disgusting. I might be late to the game. Been 4 years, man, without jerks or porn. And I don't know what percentage of society in the U.S., what men do that. I have to feel like most men masturbate. And I feel like most men watch porn. I don't know if that's true or not. It seems that way. I don't go out here taking polls and asking guys about their jerking habits and porn habits, but it seems like it's ingrained in us that it's just a normal part of being a man. And to me, being a man is being as spiritual as possible and leading by example. And that's what I'm here to do, man. I have a purpose to be a light to the world and be a voice. I'm an agent of God. I'm an agent. I represent God. I got to make a contract. I couldn't go through the 12 steps and live the life where I pray 3 times a day and answer to God every day and look myself in the mirror and think I'm just going to cut corners and mindlessly consume for my own pleasure. That doesn't mean I don't fall short, dude. I fall short. I gossip. I talk junk about people who aren't around. I catch myself and I know it's ugly. I want to do better. As I said, when I get mad, I've let swear words slip. I argue with Stephanie here and there and bicker and do stuff like that that doesn't feel good on my soul. I hold resentment sometimes. I'm in fear. You know, I do stuff that you know, I fall short. I can be selfish, and I want to do better, man. But giving up porn and jerking off was so worth it, dude. And at least I'm going in the right direction. And I hope, man, that you guys are feeling this video. Because if you're still watching porn or you're still jerking off, maybe this will put a light in you, man, to stop. You have the power to stop. It's within you. There's an initial period where it takes, if it's such a habit in your life, it's going to take some real focus and some, like when I stopped swearing, dude, it was such a habit for me to say the F word, F this, F that, POS, this, that. It took a really being mindful to stop. I'd fall short, I'd slip, I'd have to catch myself till I built a new habit. Now it's just part of my life not to jerk off or watch porn. It's not something I think about. It's just part, it's ingrained in me. It's not something I do. And I judge people, I don't want to say unfavorably, because I know God doesn't want me judging unfavorably, but I look at people who do it and I think, man, they could do better. I know they could do better. If they just saw the benefits that I've gotten from cutting it out, they would so badly want it. But maybe they don't realize that it has such a negative effect on us. You know, a lot of people just don't realize that. So anyway, man, 4 years I've celebrated January 3rd, no porn, no jerking off, and I'm so happy about that, man. I feel like I'm one of the few people in society who's ever done that. You know, not ever, I don't mean ever. A lot of people don't do that, but I feel like, what I mean is I feel like it's rare that people don't do it. But to me, I can't understand, like now looking back, how so many, it was like when I used to do heroin and I was surrounded by a bunch of drug addicts, it just felt like everyone did drugs. But now that I don't do that, it's like, really, it seems like, you know, I guess if that makes sense. Anyway, man, hit the like button. Let me know what you think. I just want to inspire some people to do better. And that's why I say together, let's get this dang muscle. If you want to feel sharp, driven, have a better sex drive, a better sex life, everything, man, has gotten better. There's been no cons to giving up porn and jerking off except that it takes effort. I don't even know if that's considered a con. No cons to it. It's all pros. It's all pros you get. You will have a clear head. You will be sharper, man. You will freaking feel more driven. You will be more focused. Less brain fog. Everything is better, man. Healthy sexual mindset. Better sex. Everything, dude. I don't care what you tell me. It is so much better. Well worth it. God bless all you. Let's get this dang muscle. I'm out.